Hi, I'm Ryan from the Embroidery Warehouse. Today we're going to go over basic tensioning on your embroidery machine. So tension basically consists of three parts. You have your top tension here, which you can control using this top knob and this middle knob here. And then finally you have your bobbin tension down here. This is going to be your most important way to set tension. So we're going to do the bobbin tension first. This is going to be the most important tension on your entire machine because this controls every needle's tension, essentially. So we'll take some fresh bobbin, stick it in here, slide it in through this little gap. And once we're pulled in through at this point, this is where we'll determine if we need to tighten or loosen. So we're going to take the bobbin, and if it can hold its own weight, and as you jiggle it, it'll move down about a 1/4 inch at a time. Then you'll know that you have pretty decent tension. So if you need to tighten it or loosen it, we have this little flathead screw right here that you can do tiny adjustments on. It's pretty fine adjustments. So if you do like a little 1/4 turn from there, it'd be way too tight. And if you do a 1/4 turn back, it'd be way too loose. So just experiment with it. If you need to tighten it more, just do like a little teeny tiny twist on there, and that should get you to the right tension. But from there, we'll take your bobbin and then wrap it around this little corkscrew here on top. And we'll stick it back in the machine. So once we have the bobbin tension set, what we do from here is we're going to set the top tension, which are these two knobs here. One thing you want to make sure when you're setting tension here is you want to move these evenly. You don't want one knob to be tighter than the other, because what that'll do is that'll cause snags either from this side or this side, just depending on which one you tighten more. So when you determine you need to tighten something, go ahead and do however many turns you feel necessary on this one, and then do the same on this one, and then go from there. But how we determine tension down here, we take our thread. As it's going through the foot plate, you want to make sure that you have your machine correctly threaded, of course, but we're going to take it down through the foot plate, and we're going to just give it a pull. And this feels pretty good. What you want is you want to pull smooth. You don't want any snags, and believe me, you're going to feel some snags if there's any in your thread. But once you pull, you want to pull smooth, but you do want it to resist you a little bit. So essentially, how some people describe it and how we describe it here is, imagine you got a stack of 3/4, you tied a string around them, and then you pulled it across like a smooth surface. Just that little bit of weight behind it, and that'll be pretty decent tension. So the last way we're going to determine tension is by running tension tests. We have our bar tests like this, and then we also have H tests, where it makes little H's on each needle. So this one right here is like a 15 needle bar test. So what it does is it makes little columns up and down on your fabric, but what you really want to look at when you turn it over is how much bobbin is showing on each of those bars. So if you're seeing too much bobbin on here, that means that the top thread's going to be too tight. But if you're seeing too little bobbin, that means it's pulling thread through from the top. That means your bobbin's too tight, so you'd have to adjust from there. So what we're seeing here is pretty good tension overall. This would, if you sewed something out on this, it'd look pretty nice. But you can make adjustments here and there, like say, thread number 8 here, the top thread is going to be too loose. So you just make your adjustments there, tighten those top threads. Now, one thing you want to look at is if you see persistent issues on all of your threads. So if you're seeing too little bobbin on all of these, that means your bobbin's probably way too tight and you need to loosen it. But if you're seeing too much, or if you're seeing too much bobbin, that means you probably need to tighten your bobbin. But if you're just seeing like little isolated incidents on each of these bars, just adjust the top tension accordingly. So how we just showed you how to adjust tension is pretty universal across most modern embroidery machines, especially machines that have the 2 top tension knobs and your bobbin. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We can actually send you some of our test files if you want to test the tension on your machine. Thanks for watching.